Today for our read aloud, we're going to be reading out of a chapter book, Ready Freddie, and this one is Kindness Counts by Klein. I have a problem, a really big problem. It's Random Acts of Kindness Week at my school. All week we are going to be doing kind things at school, at home, and in our community. In my class, we are also going to pick names out of a hat, and we have to do something kind for the person we pick. What if I pick Max, the biggest bully in the whole second grade? He is never kind to anyone. What am I going to do? Chapter 1, Rex, Random Acts Kindness. The bus pulled up in front of school, and I jumped off. "See you at recess," I yelled over my shoulder to my best friend Robbie. "Meet you by the big tree," he yelled back. As I walked down the hall toward my room, I saw my teacher, Miss Clark, come around the corner carrying a huge pile of books. There must have been about 20 books in the stack, and she was moving very slowly, trying not to drop them. I ran up to her. "Good morning, Miss Clark." She carefully peeked around the stack of books in her arms. "Oh, good morning, Freddie. I thought that was you, but it's hard to see over all these books," she said with a chuckle. "Let me help you carry some of those," I said, pointing to the stack. "I wouldn't want you to drop them." "That's so nice of you," said Miss Clark. "My arms are getting a little tired. I've had to carry these all the way from the library." Miss Clark bent down slightly. "Why don't you take some off the top, Freddie?" she said. I reached up and carefully took some books off the top of the stack. "Whew! That's a lot better," said Miss Clark. "You are so sweet for offering to help." I smiled. "No problem," I said. "What are all these books for?" "Well, we are starting our nonfiction writing unit," said Miss Clark. "I thought it would be fun if everyone did some nonfiction writing about their favorite animal, so I checked out a bunch of animal books from the library." If it's a nonfiction book, is it real or is it not real? Nonfiction. "Cool! I know which animal I'm going to write about," I said. "Let me guess," said Miss Clark. "Sharks." I laughed. "Yep. Sharks are my favorite animal in the whole wide world. I love learning about them." And all of a sudden, someone bumped into me with their backpack and almost sent me flying to the ground. I caught myself just in time and looked up. Of course it was Max, the biggest bully in the whole second grade. He was chasing Chloe down the hall, and she was waving her arms in the air and screaming, "Help! Help! Someone help me!" Max just laughed and ran faster without watching where he was going. He accidentally crashed right into Miss Clark, and all the books she was carrying flew out of her hands and hit the ground with a thud. Max froze. He stared at Miss Clark. "Max," she said, "how many times have I told you not to run in the hallway? Now look what just happened because you weren't following the school rules." Max remained frozen like a statue. He stammered. "How about saying you're sorry?" asked Miss Clark. "I'm sorry," Max mumbled. "Now you can help me pick all of the books." "I already did that," Jessie said. Miss Clark turned around and there was Jessie, holding all the books that Max had knocked to the ground. "Jessie, that was so kind of you to pick up all these books," said Miss Clark. "I really appreciate that." "Any time," Jessie said with a smile. "I'm always happy to help." We all walked into the classroom and put our things away. "I need everyone to come over to the rug," said Miss Clark. "We have something we need to talk about." "We need to talk about how Max is such a big meanie," Chloe said as she made her way over to the rug. "I am not," Max barked in Chloe's face. "You are too, a big, giant meanie," Chloe said, sticking her tongue out at Max. "All right, that's enough, you two," said Miss Clark. "You both need to stop yelling at each other and sit down on the rug. Chloe, you sit here, and Max, you sit over there." "Yeah, as far away from each other as possible," I whispered to Josh. "First of all," said Miss Clark, "what just happened out there is a good reminder of why we don't run in the hallway. If you're running, then you're not watching where you are going, and you can easily bump into people." "But I had to run," Chloe whined. "Max was chasing me." Max and Chloe remember our school rule is you must walk in the hallways, said Miss Clark. Chloe crossed her arms, stuck out her lower lip, and pouted. This morning's incident was also a good example of something else, Miss Clark continued. Really? What? Asked Jessie. It was a good example of what I call racks, said Miss Clark. Racks? What are those? Asked Josh. RAC stands for Random Acts of Kindness. What does that mean? Said Jessie. It means doing something kind for someone when they aren't expecting it, said Miss Clark. This morning, 2 people in our class performed random acts of kindness. First, Freddie offered to help me carry my huge stack of books, and then Jessie helped me pick them up when they went flying all over the place. Oh, I get it, said Jessie. Kindness is contagious, said Miss Clark. Ew, said Chloe. You mean it spreads germs? No, said Miss Clark. I mean, when we do kind things for people, they feel so good about what we did that they want to do kind things for other people. So the kindness is passed on and on to a lot of people, said Josh. Exactly, said Miss Clark. And Mr. Pendergast has decided that we are going to have a random acts of kindness week here at school. That's cool, I said. All week you will look for ways to show other people you care, said Miss Clark. Every time you perform a random act of kindness, either at school, at home, or in our community, then you are going to write what you did on a strip of paper like this and attach it to our school kindness chain. We are going to see if we can make a chain that goes around the whole school by the end of the week. Wow, that sounds awesome, said Jessie. I can already think of a million things I can do for other people. Wonderful, said Miss Clark. But to make sure that each person does at least one kind act this week, I put everyone's name in a hat, and whosever name you pick, you have to perform one random act of kindness for that person sometime this week. Watch me pick Max's name out of the hat, I whispered to Josh. Whenever we do something like this, I always end up with Max. Maybe you won't this time, whispered Josh. You never know. Miss Clark started walking around with the hat full of names. Kids picked a name out one at a time. My heart was pounding in my chest. Please don't let me pick Max, I thought to myself. Please, please, please. Miss Clark finally got to me. I closed my eyes and reached my hand in the hat. I swirled the paper around and pulled one out. I opened one eye, and then I opened the other. Then I slowly opened the piece of paper. Who do you think that Freddie got? Do you think he got Max, or do you think he got another person in their class? Let's find out. Then I slowly opened the piece of paper. My heart sank. I got Jessie, Josh whispered excitedly. Who did you get? I couldn't even speak. I just turned and held up the slip of paper in front of Josh's nose. Printed on the piece of paper were 3 letters. M-A-X. Max. All right, so that's the end of Chapter 1. Chapter 2 is called Amazing Ideas, and I'll read this tomorrow. But today, I want to challenge you to do a random act of kindness for somebody in your family. That could be helping your mom do the dishes. It could be cleaning up after a sibling. It could even be maybe reading a story to one of your siblings or even to your parents. When you do your random act of kindness, I would like you to post what you did and how it made that person feel. I'll be posting a little bit later once I do my random act of kindness. See you guys tomorrow.